Alright guys, I'm coming at you with a deck for the In Our Rarity Festival event. The original deck I was running just wasn't working out, so I switched to playing Krawlers. Krawlers with some Tindangles, and also with Summoner of Illusions in case I needed to beat over things. And I have replays to show you me using Summoner of Illusions, and also just using the Krawler engine. So we're just going to go ahead and go over with what everything does. First, we have 2 Krawler Spine. When it's flipped face up, you can destroy 1 monster on the field. If this card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 2 Krawler monsters with different names from your deck and face down defense position except Krawler Spine. You can only use this effect of Krawler Spine once per turn. All the Krawlers have that destruction effect. And if it leaves the field, that counts as like if it's returned to your hand, or if it's banished, or just if it's destroyed by a card effect. Just if it leaves the field from a card effect, period. And all the Krawlers have that effect to special summon 2 with different names. Next, we have Krawler Axon. This one, when it's flipped face up, you can target a spell or trap card in the field and destroy it. Now we have Krawler YuGiOh. This one, when it's flipped face up, you can special summon a Krawler monster from your hand or graveyard in face up attack or face down defense position, except Krawler YuGiOh. Then we have Krawler Receptor, and then this card, when it's flipped face up, you can add a Krawler monster from deck to hand. This one's just for the consistency. These two are the main 2 guys you're going to use. Krawler Spine's pretty good just because of its defense. Then we have Summoner of Illusions. You can, when he's flipped, you can tribute 1 other monster, and if you do, special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, but destroy it during the end phase of this turn. With this card, if I don't want to lose the card I'm summoning at the end of the turn, you can actually special summon Invoked Ragin, and you can flip him face down, and then he won't be destroyed by the destruction effect. Sometimes the other thing I'll do is, if I know I'm going to be able to get this effect off more than once, or I have another fusion in the grave, I'll do something like summon Master of Oz, and then on my next turn I'll summon this guy, this invoked guy, and when he is special summoned, you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And then the other effect is you can banish a fusion monster from your grave and he gains the attack. And you'll see in the replays we get him above 5,000 attack. So Invoked Agoides, I believe is his name, however you say it. This guy's really good to have in the extra deck. So moving on, we have Tindangle Gerald, and his flip effect is you can take any flip monster from your deck, including Summoner Illusions or including your other searcher, and add it to your hand, or send it to the graveyard. I prefer to add it to the hand. If this card's in your hand, you can discard 1 other card, send a Tindangle card from your deck to the graveyard. The one we always send is Intruder, and we'll get to that in a bit. And if you do, you can special summon this card face down. So this card's really good, gives you another body on the board in case you need to make a Summoner of Illusions play. Also gives you Intruder in the graveyard, and gives you a search later on. Great card. Next we have Tindangle Angel. You can, when it's flipped, you can special summon a flip monster from your hand or graveyard in face down defense position. I actually think I might want to cut something for a second Angel just because this card is working really well. And if you use its effect during the opponent's battle phase, you can actually end the battle phase. So really useful effect. And you can actually proc that yourself by using World Legacy Pawns, which we'll get to in a little bit. So Tindangle Intruder. When it's flipped, you can add a Tindangle card from your deck to your hand, which is great because you can keep giving yourself Geralds. When it's normal summoned, you can send a Tindangle card from your deck to your graveyard. I've never resolved that effect, and I don't really think you need to. The one that I like is if a monster is special summoned face down, either by Angel or YuGiOh, just if a monster is special face down, you can special summon him from your graveyard and face down defense. So when you flip it up, he'll have the 2200 attack, and you'll get to search for a Tindangle. You can only use each effect of Tindangle once per turn. And then I have 2 Lightning Vortex. Since we can't run Lightning Storm or Regeki, we're stuck with Lightning Vortex. Discard 1 card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls. It's been useful a couple times. Next we have a 3 World Legacy Survivor. If you can't get any of your Krawlers like when you need them, this card comes in handy for consistency. You excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, add 1 excavated Krawler monster or World Legacy card, which would include itself, to your hand and send the remaining cards to the graveyard. Otherwise, if you can't add anything, you shuffle them all back into the deck, and then for the rest of the turn after it resolves, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck except Link monsters. You can only activate 1 World Legacy Survivor per turn. Next we have 3 Book of Moon. I like this card as a stall option, and it also lets me do things like recycle my Krawler Spine if I can't get to World Legacy Pawns, or also recycle my Summoner of Illusions. So, good card for a flip deck and a slower format like this one. Just target a face-up monster, change it to face down. Also helps slowing down your opponent from attacking things if you don't want him to attack. 1, the Book of Law. I use this because whenever I use Summoner of Illusions, if I bring out an invoked monster that I want to keep, or I would just want to swap out for something else, you can tribute the invoked monster and special summon another invoked monster from your extra deck with a different original attribute from that fusion monster. It's treated as a fusion summon. You can only activate 1 Book of Law per turn. I like this card because I've done stuff like bring out this to attack for 3000 and then Book of Law during the battle phase to swap it out for this guy, destroy a card, and then also banish a card to pump his attack up, and he stays on the field at the end of the turn because the card we brought out by Summoner of Illusions effect is gone. So, pretty fun combo. 3 Torrential Tribute. Sometimes you need the board clear if you get overwhelmed. 3 Bottomless Trap Hole for the spot removal. 2 Compulse also for spot removal. So, like I said before, Torrential's a board wipe. When a monster summoned, destroys everything. Bottomless Trap Hole, when a monster is summoned with 1500 or more attack, you destroy that monster, and if you do, banish it. And then Compulse is target any monster on the field and return it to the hand. You can even do it to your own monsters if you need to for whatever reason. And then Paleozoic Deinonymiscus, 3 of this. Target 1 face-up card on the field. If you do, discard 1 card and banish it. Once per turn, when a trap card or effect is activated while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon it as a normal monster, Aqua, Water, level 2, with 1200 attack. This card is not treated as a trap. If summoned this way, this card is unaffected by monster effects. Also, banish it when it leaves the field. This card's came in handy several times, and also lets you discard cards you can't use or cards you would rather have in your graveyard, like Tindangle Intruder. And then 3 World Legacy Pawns. You can target a face-down monster you control, change it to face-up, attack, or defense position. You can also shuffle a Krawler monster you control from your Krawler monster from your graveyard into your main deck, target a face-up card you control, change it to face-down defense position, and that's really good to recycle effects for Summoner of Illusion or other cards like Tindangle Angel or Krawler Spine. And you can only use 1 World Legacy Pawns effect per turn, and only once per turn, and that's a hard once per turn. So if you draw into extra copies of this and you don't need it, you can discard them for Deinonymiscus. Now we get into the extra deck. We have 1 Invoke Caliga. I haven't had to make this yet, but if for some reason your opponent's spamming a lot of effects, you can lock him down and stop him from using more than 1 monster effect per turn, or attacking more than once per turn. Invoke Raijin. Like we said earlier, this guy's decent because he has a quick effect to flip a monster on the field into face-down defense position. And then we have Invoked Purgatrio. He gains 200 attack for each card your opponent controls. He can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. He's pretty decent. The main one I've been using is Maglencia, which is just the 3000 attack beat stick, and then Agodes, which is the 2000 attack beat stick with decent defense. We covered him earlier, but just in case you missed it, when he's summoned, you can target a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And once per turn, you can banish a fusion monster from the graveyard, and he gains attack equal to that banished monster's attack until the end of your opponent's turn. I love banishing a Master of Oz, which is just a beat stick, or a Gaia Drake, which is another beat stick, just to mess with my opponent and make him ridiculously huge. One Gravity Controller. It is made with one non-link monster in an extra monster zone. Sometimes I'll bring him out by link summoning with whatever I brought out from Summer of Illusions effect, because it's going to go away at the end of the turn anyway. In the extra monster zone, he cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster in the main monster zone. At the start of the damage step, if it battles an opponent's monster in the extra monster zone, you can return both that opponent's monster and this card to the deck. Then we have Proxy Dragon. I actually did bring him out once, and he did protect my cards from being destroyed. If a card or cards you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one of the cards this monster points to instead. Decent effect. Then we have the Pentastag. If your linked monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. And then we have the Geonator Transverser. This linked card and monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If it points to two monsters, you can switch control of those monsters. You can only use the effect of Geo Transverser once per turn. Then we have Triple Burst Dragon. Once per turn during the damage step, when a spell card, trap card, or monster effect will be activated, this is a quick effect, you can negate the activation. If it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. During your main phase, except the turn this card is special summoned, you contribute this card, target one link to or lower monster in graveyard, special summon it, then you can special summon one level 4 lower dragon monster from your hand. We're not going to use that effect. And then we have one Berserker of 10E, which is our 3000 attack beat stick, and we actually did use that a couple of times as well. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys with the replays. I hope you have a lot of fun in the normal and rare event festival and Master Duel. And once again, this video was sponsored by W Energy. You can go to the description of the video and use the code SirLargeGaming to get 10% off. I personally really like the Dragon Fruit Pink Lemonade flavor. Tastes great, lots of energy, has decent vitamin supplements in it. If y'all are looking for something that is cheaper per drink than like Monster or Red Bull, highly recommend it. And without further ado, here are the replays, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.